big changes at Mercedes as their technical director, Mike Elliott, has effectively sacked himself after doing an investigation into the efficiency of Mercedes' F1 operation. This is quite a strange story, but I'm not surprised he's been sacked. I mean, let's look at the last 2 years for Mercedes, which have been the 2 years that he's been in his current role as technical director and the chief of the car, essentially, is what that means. That's the person who gives the go-ahead on everything and chooses the direction for the car, and that's been a mega issue for Mercedes in the last 2 years. So it was coming, and you could sense that at the start of the year that Toto, I think he kind of gave the technical department a chance, and the technical department, in fairness, gave themselves a chance to try and eradicate the issues that they had with the 2022 car. And it's just become evident at the start of this year that the concept doesn't work and they all want to get rid of it. So if you look at how it's gone for Mike Elliott in that position over the last 2 years, it makes total sense, right? And at least what it says in the press release is that he's been sacked, but it's of his own volition. He has decided that it's best for the business if he and ex-technical director James Allison swap roles, because James Allison is in a chief technical officer role, which is a less hands-on role and more focused on the general direction and long-term goals for Mercedes. And I know he was off doing some boat racing, I think, with Ineos. So yeah, I suppose it does make sense, and I've read some articles that it plays to Mike Elliott's strengths, apparently, to be in charge of a broader job and to oversee a big project rather than be so hands-on with the car. Don't know how true that is. I could see this coming from Toto Wolff because he was absolutely fed up at the start of this year. I mean, of course he was fed up last year, but at the start of this year you could really see it in him that he was just fed up with this car not working. And they're bringing back in James Allison, who was at the wheel when they were so successful and so dominant. And the Mercedes fans are delighted on Twitter. They're very happy. James Allison is like their version of Adrian Newey. He brought them a lot of success, and he used to do the debriefs and stuff on a Wednesday, and he seems a very likable figure. Lots of people really like him. So yeah, that's all I have to say on that one. I think it is justified. It's definitely justified, and Mercedes have got it right in... Mercedes always get it right in their balance of culture. You know, their culture is... It's not like Ferraris where they kind of try to avoid putting blame on anyone, and it's not at the other end where they're so harsh on people. You know, they gave Mike Elliott a chance. They gave him a chance to fix his fuck up, and it didn't happen. But yet they're not totally disregarding him either. They're acknowledging, this man just oversaw it going wrong, and he still has absolute potential in another area, and it just hasn't worked out for him in this one. So I think it's totally fair and totally fine, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if James Allison can come in and work his magic after coming back in. Yeah, I don't know. Mercedes are in a hole that they need to get out of, and they need to get out of it for their drivers' sake, for both drivers, because look at Lewis Hamilton. He must be so frustrated that he doesn't have a car to race in properly because he's at the end of his career and he's trying to break that record officially and get that done and get out of the sport, I imagine. And then you look at it from the other end, for George Russell, he must be so hungry. He spent 3 years in that Williams and he thought, yes, I've got this Mercedes seat. Gets in the Mercedes seat and it's slow. So it's got to be so frustrating. And for the two of them, they will be praying every night that James Allison comes in and sorts this out and that they're back to the front, both for their own reasons, both at different stages in their career. But it has to go right soon for Mercedes. Or then you just start to call them not a top team. I mean, yeah, they're still top three, probably the second quickest car on average this year, but not the top team, which is what they've been for so long. It's what I know them as the top team, the team that win. And they haven't done that for a while. Yeah, they won in Brazil, but what's a race victory to a team who won 7-8 championships in a row? You know? So they'll be saying their prayers for James Allison. All right, that's all I have to say on this one. Thanks a million for watching. See you in the next one.